Hampton 78 Romeo, taxiing to runway 20, 78 Romeo, Hampton. Alright, fuel set to both, takeoff trim set, flaps up and off.
Flaps. Soft field.
Soft field, flaps 10 degrees, mixture rich, carb heat cold, breakers, magnetos both, battery alternator on, primer stowed and locked.
Hampton 724 box is clear.
Hampton 78 Romeo taking off runway 20 turf, straight out departure Hampton. So roll right into the takeoff, back pressure, once we lift off, ground effect, speed to 70, and then lift out.
Affirmative. Stall horn may go off as the airplane lifts off the ground. Go all the way out to the, just follow this yellow line, come out all the way to the end of the runway. As you're coming onto the grass, you have to add that power so you don't get bogged down. Alright, there you go, start adding that power in. Straighten her out on the runway. Full power. Get your nose up. A little bit right rudder. That's it. Now you're airborne, push. Push, 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 push. That's it, keep it over the runway. Alright. There's your airspeed. Easy, easy. Gentle. Gentle on the climb. There we go. Alright. So now push the nose over, get some airspeed, then you can raise your flaps. That's it. So when I'm maneuvering, I do a pre-maneuver checklist. Look around, make sure I don't have any aircraft around me. So I look at 4 A's and an O. Aircraft, airspeed, altitude, airspace, and obstacles. Right? So my altitude is 1,200 feet, airspeed's 100 miles an hour. I'm out of any airspace that needs to be, have permission. I'm above any obstacles. I got a cell phone tower, I got a little water tower, but I'm well above any obstacles. And now you can see this major power line coming out of the nuke plant, heading to the west. That's going to be your S-turn reference.
Okay, I see it.
And the other thing is, what would happen if you lose an engine? Where would you land? Answer me that question.
I'd come in right over their house and land towards the trees.
Yeah, I like that field. Just clear the power lines, that's all. Alright, so here we go.
Could land diagonally on that parking lot too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Might surprise some people.
Alright, here we go. Now go right into your turn, to the right, crossing over the reference. So based on how that went, where do you think the winds are coming from?
Pushing us this way.
You think? What are the winds on the surface?
Going this way.
Uh-huh. Now there could be a wind shear. The winds change directions, but generally they don't. But it seemed like...
No, you're right, it would be because we didn't turn out right on top of the power lines.
Coming south.
When we were coming this way, there was a little bit of distance that I ended up straight.
Yeah. I thought you did a good job adjusting on these legs. So you can see how we're getting pushed, and you have to do a little more bank angle right here on this section. So yeah, winds are coming from the south. Let's climb up.
49er, turning final, runway 6, march.
Traffic, 12 o'clock.
I did see it and I lost it.
Right above the horizon.
Oh, visual. Thank you. All right, power on stall as discussed.
All right.
So, I'm sorry, what we didn't discuss is the setup. Slow it down to 60 miles an hour to simulate you're at takeoff speed. Or no, we were doing the go-around thing, right? Never mind. Forget what I'm just saying. Simulate that you're on a final approach with full flaps, do the go-around.
Yeah.
Charlie, we're entering the. We're going to do a full stop on 17. All in.
All right, go around, you said?
Yeah. Now just get the go-around and let the nose climb. And if it doesn't climb, bring the nose up. Bring the nose up, high. Don't do any stall yet. Bring the flaps back down. All right. So now bring the nose, put it up, put your feet on the horizon. A little bit higher. Now you're just going to have to listen and feel just prior to that stall. There it is. Okay, so lower the nose, flaps up 40 to 20. Looks all right.
And Auburn traffic 35 Charlie with tight pattern. Engine out.
Good.
Runway 17.
All right, I have the controls.
You have the controls.
I have the controls. Now I'm going to take it, and you're going to rescue me. So I'm going to clear right. I'm going to turn right. I'm going to put us into a landing configuration, and then I'm going to quote flare high. I'm going to flare the airplane, put the nose into the high situation, and put it into a nose high stall. And I want you to take the airplane from me when you are not comfortable with the way things are going. Okay?
Hampton traffic, this is Skyhawk 172 Mike Lima on the 45 over Boar's Head for runway 20.
RV's coming in. Power's coming idle. I'm below 100 miles an hour. Flaps can come down.
Southbridge traffic, Cessna 19648. Downwind, runway 20.
Now I'm coming in. I'm on quote my final approach. Everything seems to be going just fine. And then I start my flare. Flare about 100 feet above the ground.
My controls.
You have the controls.
Minuteman traffic.
Excellent. Thank you for saving my life.
A left
All right.
for runway 21.
I have the controls.
You have the controls.
Now our new game is called Fix It. Our desired airspeed is 80 miles an hour. Our desired altitude is 2,500 feet. I'm going to put us in a deviant condition away from that.
Okay.
I'm going to say, all right, here you are. I'm going to say, you have the controls, and I'm going to start counting down. That's how many seconds you have to get us back to 2,500 feet and 80 miles an hour trimmed up.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to clear the area. I'm out of the Class Delta airspace. I'm heading back towards Hampton. Hampton Airfield could be probably that little field down here, or this field over here that we had tried to land on before, right?
Yep.
Like right off our left side. Class Delta airspace is not a
Skyhawk
factor.
172 Mike Lima, downwind for runway 20.
All right, so you know what the parameters are. You have the controls.
I have the
You
controls.
have the controls. 10,
Minuteman traffic.
9,
Victor is
8,
turning left base, runway
7,
21.
6,
Traffic,
5,
19648,
4,
left base, runway 20.
3, 2, 1. Excellent job. I have the controls.
You have the controls.
Nicely done. Okay.
Minuteman traffic, go to Victor is turning final, runway 21, Minuteman.
Right, clearing left. You have the controls.
I have the controls.
15, 14, 13, 12,
Southbridge
11,
traffic, Cessna 19648.
9,
Final runway
8,
0.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2, 1.5, 1 1/4, 1 1/8, 0.75. Thank you very much. Good job. All right, let's head to Portsmouth. Listen up to ATIS on the way in.
Hampton traffic, Skyhawk 172 Mike Lima, turning base for runway 20.
Number 2.
Down.
Portsmouth Tower
And
information
let's
Delta.
work our way.
2056 Zulu observation. Wind 150 at 08. Visibility 10. Few clouds 3,500. Temperature 11. Dew point 03. Altimeter 299er7. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16. Taxiway Charlie closed.
Hampton traffic, Skyhawk
Increased
172
bird
Mike
activity
Lima,
in the
turning
vicinity of
final for
Portsmouth
runway
Airport.
20.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Delta. Portsmouth Tower information Echo. 2156 Zulu observation.
I just changed.
Yep.
Wind 150 at 09er. Visibility 10. Few clouds 4,000. Temperature 09er. Dew point 03. Altimeter 299er7. Expect visual approach runway 16.
Every time you hit an
Departing
altimeter,
runway
change
16.
it.
Taxiway Charlie closed. Increased bird
see, I
activity in
changed
the
it there,
vicinity of
right.
Portsmouth Airport.
Just as a habit.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Echo.
Echo, great. All right,
Okay.
let's
Portsmouth
call
Tower
them up and go in. Tell me what you're going to say. I'll approve it, and then you can
Okay.
say it.
I'm going to say Portsmouth Tower, Skyhawk, November 5178, Romeo. 6 miles to the southwest with Echo.
Good, say it.
Portsmouth Tower, Skyhawk, November 5178, Romeo. 6 miles to the southwest with Echo.
November 5178 Romeo, Portsmouth Tower, altimeter 299er7, say altitude.
Altitude 2,400 feet, 78 Romeo.
All right, go back in.
November 78 Romeo, roger. Enter right down on runway 16 at departure end. You're following is a Cessna to your southeast at about a mile at 2,000, also entering the right downwind.
Right downwind, runway 16 from departure end, 78 Romeo.
Cronus 119, exit taxiway Bravo, text park via Bravo Alpha Mike, this frequency.
So
Bravo,
departure
Alpha,
end,
you, Cronus.
similar to
Yep.
yesterday. Come
Right.
in at the 135 right-hand pattern.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, runway 16, wind 150 at 9er, clear to land.
And 16, request long line and get Fable.
That's approved, and exit at Bravo.
Long line approved and Bravo, 2 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Traffic there low, about a finger below the horizon.
Visual. Good eye.
All right, to beam the numbers. Carb heat cold, throttle idle,
56 Juliet, headed to the FB.
trim.
Number 56 Juliet, roger. Turn left taxiway Bravo. Text park via Bravo Alpha, then a left on either Papa or Quebec, this frequency.
Stay on this frequency, left on Bravo, thanks.
Turn base early just so we can land a little bit
Land long.
further down the runway. Carb heat is hot, by the way, not cold. You did the right thing,
Thanks.
said the wrong.
Said the wrong thing. That won't be the end of that.
Yep. Usually it's the other way around. The mouth says what you want to have happen, and your body does not do what your mouth is saying. Well, make this a soft field landing. In other words, use a little power to just grease it on.
Okay. All right, they just cleared it. Charlie,
Bravo.
Bravo.
Wide runway, avoid the temptation to flare high. A little bit too much power. Bring your power back a little bit.
I was trying to get us a little further down the runway.
Oh, okay, yeah, we don't need to try to do that too much.
Okay.
I want to make that landing. Nice. Okay. Yeah, just bring it under control. That's it. Now you can add a little power. We're not clearing here. It's closed. Just let it roll out. Give it a little power.
Number 78 Romeo, turn left taxiway Bravo, say parking location.
Tell them we're going to taxi back to runway 16.
78 Romeo, taxiing back to runway 16.
Number 78 Romeo, roger, left turn taxiway Bravo, and do you want to make a 180 and depart 16 at Bravo or go full length?
Full length takeoff, please.
Roger, runway 16, taxi at Bravo Alpha.
Taxi Bravo Alpha to runway 16, 78 Romeo. Do we call a clear runway?
Ask Tower if we should switch to ground frequency or just stay with him.
November 5178 Romeo, should I switch to ground?
Number 78 Romeo, negative, remain this frequency.
Copy. Alright, flow set.
TAC 34, heavy ground. Roger.
Tower 78 Romeo.
Good.
For training, we'd like to take off on 16, climb to 300 feet, simulate an engine failure, and land, if that's all right with you.
Hey, you can expect that.
78 Romeo.
Tower Skyhawk, November 5178 Romeo, is holding short runway 16, ready for takeoff and landing.
Number 78 Romeo, runway 16, wind 150 at 9er, clear for takeoff, proceed as requested.
Proceed as requested, 78 Romeo.
All right, flow check since we had a hour-long taxi.
Alright, fuel set to both, takeoff trim set, flaps up, off, mixture rich, carb heat cold, breakers, magnetos set to both, battery alternator on, primer stowed and locked.
Okay. All right, just normal takeoff. Got another 1,000 feet extra right here.
Alright, pressure, temp, amps, speed alive, rotating,
Climbing out at 80. All right, I have your motor. Power's coming back. Carb heat's coming on. Fly the airplane. Oops, I pulled it back too much.
Tower, good afternoon. Lead is 1550. We'll be ready to go at the end.
Legion 1550, Portsmouth Tower, runway 16, line up and wait.
16, line up and wait. Legion 1515.
Oh, don't flare high. Keep it coming down. Excellent. Now we'll stop it and clear here.
Bravo's closed.
No, it's not.
Oh.
We just came off on.
Sorry.
All right, so come to a stop.
Taxi back.
Yeah. Tower 78 Romeo, request permission to 180 and clear Bravo.
Number 78 Romeo, proceed as requested. Are you taxiing back to the runway again?
78 Romeo. No, we'd like to take off from Bravo.
Number 78 Romeo, roger, exit on Bravo, then 180 to hold short at Bravo.
78 Romeo.
Tower 78 Romeo, I'm on the clock.
Coming up on 2 minutes.
Number 78 Romeo, runway 16 at Bravo, wind 150 at 9er, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 78 Romeo, thank you.
All right, so keep those crosswind controls in until you're on the runway.
All right.
Go. That's fast enough. Too fast.
And so which way is the wind?
Now the wind, right there. Wind's
Okay.
coming from this direction.
Pressure, temperature, amps, airspeed's alive, rotating.
And we'll head back to Hampton.
Okay.
How's that sound?
NRS traffic, 35 uniform, 2,500 feet southbound, departing the traffic pattern or the traffic area orange.
Hampton 78 Romeo, downwind runway 20, Hampton.
Air traffic, presenting a left runway 6.
Oh,
Say again?
we're starting low.
Yep.
Man traffic Sirius 2714 Charlie is 5 miles to the north, going to enter in crosswind, midfield crosswind for runway 21.
So come down kind of
Just
at an
come down
angle.
here and then side slip over to the runway. So you're going to be doing a very slight S turn
Okay.
onto the grass. Don't fly over these trees. Fly right down the chute. All right, so now you can start your maneuver over to the grass.
Okay.
That's it. All right, now right bank. Self lined up. A little bit of power. It. Work. All right, now make your way over to the pavement. Just use coast over there. Nice.
That was different.
It's not real cosmic, is it?
That was pretty neat.
Yeah. Now this turf runway is forgiving because it's hard. You know, but the challenging one would be muddy. You know, you don't want to get yourself bogged down, and you want to keep it soft touchdown, keep the nose off as long as possible.
Yeah, I was watching guys land in low tide in Alaska to go clamming.
Uh-huh.
So looking for hard sand.
Yeah.
Wet sand, it turned out, was the best because it was packed down.
Oh, sure. Right, you still have a tailwind, so down and away.
So same way I had it.
That's way you had it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fuel set to both, take off trim. Flaps coming up. Mixture rich. Well, lean it while we're on the taxi.
Okay.
Carb cold. Breakers, magneto set to both. Battery alternator, primer stowed and locked. Flaps up and off.
All right, your choice. You want to do another pattern or take it back to the hangar?
Let's do one more.
Sounds good.
Hampton, 78 Romeo, downwind, runway 20, Hampton.
A big 648, runway 20. Traffic
I'm gonna turn the strobe off there.
to
I need to add a little power. Yep, add some power. Okay, now off. Oh, we didn't have enough energy, did we?
Nope.
Flaps up, power back. Power back's not a touch and go. No, don't turn until you're slow.
Okay. Hampton, 78 Romeo, downwind, runway 20, Hampton.
I think you also said you were low on that last pattern, right? When you started?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
at 800 feet.
Yeah, you ran out of potential energy there. Or you reduced it slightly. Straighten the nose out with the rudder. Now, when you add that little slip in, you're going to have to add some power maybe, or let the nose drop. Just because of the crosswind. It's much better. Power all the way back.
Yeah, still a little high.
Yep. Flaps up. Go all the way to the end.
Not enough airspeed again.
Well,
Or
no, you had enough airspeed. You
flared
kept
too soon.
flare a little too soon, and you had power in all the way through the landing, or a little bit. You had some power in at like you were doing a soft field landing. You're almost doing a soft field landing.
I guess I didn't need the flaps then. Because until I put in that last set of flaps on final, I had a good glide path. Once I put in the flaps, I started dropping.
Right. You only need to go full flaps when you know your landing's assured, and you don't need to, if you, once you're over, when you don't need extra power, you can leave the flaps at 30. Once you know you can make the runway, roll the flaps all the way down. So you can do that as you're crossing over the threshold. But as you do that, you can get your power back, and so maybe the better way to teach this is a short field landing is a normal landing. Just a normal landing.
Which
right?
I noted in my YouTube description that that's a normal landing for us, is a short field.
It's a normal landing, with the exception of once the nose is on the ground, flaps come up, and you're going to apply a little bit heavier braking. That's it. So nothing else cosmic about it.
Next time.
Yep. Good job. You fly a good airplane, nice and stable. You know how to put the airplane where you want it, trimmed up.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
Okay. No, I'm talking about just the normal flying around stuff. It's the the landings. That just takes practice. Even those of us who have thousands of hours coming back to this airplane, I had to do a lot of landings to be happy with it, and so it just takes, because these airplanes are sensitive, right? They're sensitive in pitch, and when you get into the ground effect, sometimes they're a little bit squirrely. That's the other thing on this last landing. You added power and arrested that sink rate. Now you're in that ground effect. So what happens? Then the airplane just continues to fly because you just took away that induced drag.
I guess I thought it would keep sinking, but
yep. If your sink rate is sufficient, you'll go right through the ground effect, and no matter what you do, it'll just prang on. But if you arrest that sink rate with power, you get in that ground effect, now you're going to float.
Okay.
It's the weirdest thing.
What end is this called?
Approach.
Approach end, thank you. Hampton 78 Romeo crossing the approach end of runway 20, Hampton. Like, it's not departure, it's not the takeoff end.
The beginning end, the
Give me the right terminology.
Tippy top end, the north end, I don't know.
I don't want to sound like a Yahoo. I don't want it obvious that I'm a student pilot. I want to tell them.
Sometimes that saves you, though, right? If you're a student pilot and you go in there and the controller realizes you're a student pilot, they're nice to you.
Oh, I'm going to be a student pilot forever.
They'll talk slow. They'll talk slower. They're going to be a student pilot forever. I love it.
It's my safety net.